Let's talk about secularity. Okay, secularity when it comes to social situations and why that's typically valued in some societies. Other societies might not value that, but in some societies, it's such an important part of what they do, how they operate, that it's actually in their constitution. Australia and the United States being examples of that. What does secularity mean? Well, secularity means that the government or the organising principle of society does not favour any particular religion or another. There isn't even the obligation to choose religion at all. It's actually the case that the free exercise of religion or lack thereof is supposed to be up to the individual. So, if you ever find that you're in a collective situation, and some people have experienced this and talked about it, so that they talk about the collective in their heads. To operate that collective in a fair democratic manner would imply secularity. That means having no religion in order to not be favouring any particular religion or another. If someone was, at the centre of the global Ezekiel wheel or the central elevator shaft of the tesseract cube system, they would also be obliged to take the road of secularity, because all those other places where those people have their respective religions and traditions. But at that centre there, where we're sort of like a crossroads where things may or may not flow, you cannot favour one or the other, because to do so would be to discriminate. It would be unjust and unfair. And so, once again, we reiterate that secularity applies at the centre of the great Ezekiel solar system. It also applies across the entirety of the Saturn Q system at the central nexus points, and that no religion, no matter which one they are, or how high or low their population is, or if there are members of what they call a higher rank in a hierarchy. And a hierarchy is not an authority. A hierarchy is just a social system. It doesn't matter what your rank is in any social system. It doesn't matter what country you come from or what your religion or cult is. You do not have authority in the divine sense of the term. You have regional contributions by your members within your membership base. So it should be within your membership base only. So if the Catholics want to be Catholics, it'll be amongst the Catholics. But the moment a Catholic interacts with a non-Catholic, it's off the table. Secularity applies. The moment a Muslim does it, when Muslims interact with Muslims, that's Islam. When they interact with non-Muslims, it's off the table. And you can apply that over and over again. Jews, when they interact with Jews, Judaism might apply. When they interact with non-Jews, secularity, it's off the table. At the collective space, secularity always applies, because to do so means to attempt to not discriminate.